Told you I'd be doing things differently, people. Nothing's changed. Still today, Principal's Perspective, where I'm your host, a principal to the people. I decided to share with you all some of the things that I work on. I'm doing a workout, I'm just warming up with push-ups. But in the process, I want to speak to, I just watched Tiger Woods win the Masters. And I think it was a 13 or 14 year gap, one of the longest, if not the longest ever. And in that, the reason I bring that up is because so many people doubted Tiger because of what he experienced and went through, not only in his personal life, but even in his physical life, because he has so many injuries, a plethora of injuries. I mean, I think he went from knee to back, back to knee, back to back. And if anybody knows anything about golf, and I'm not saying that I know a lot about it, I do know that your base, your legs, and specifically your back, are vital and important to your success. So to watch Tiger today at 43, 44 compete against the youngsters that have been watching him, and to be able to not only come back, but hold off. But hold off the students, not the students. I'm thinking about school, but hold off the youngsters. But it is actually an example of perseverance, but most importantly, dedication, but most importantly, and this is what today's lesson is centered around, self-belief. Self-belief is the most important attribute any successful person has. No matter what the doubters say, no matter what everybody else thinks, mama, father, sister, brother, no matter what everybody else thinks, if that person being you, believes that whatever God has placed in your heart that you can accomplish and achieve, then it'll be done. So Tiger, think about this. Think about the amount of media exposure Tiger's situation had when his family fell apart due to some of his transgressions. And think about after that, the amount of media publicity that he had for every tournament that he entered and the pressure that was on him. And that pressure would have swallowed most of us whole or sent us into a depression or a tailspin. And maybe it did do that for Tiger. I'm not saying that it didn't. But what I saw today was a man that believed in himself more than anybody, regardless of what anybody else thought. So I just want to let everybody know that no matter what anybody tells you, and I tell this to my students all the time, because my students, sometimes they're struggling with finding themselves and their parents want something different for them than they want for themselves. And I tell them, I'll never tell you to disobey your parents, but I will tell you to follow your passion and follow your dream. And I tell them to follow their passion and follow their dream because it's their life in the end. And regardless of what our parents put in us the first 18 to 21 years before we get away from them and walk away, the rest of our life is going to be based on our decision makings. And the number one thing that I believe leads people to despair, depression, and all sorts of things outside of losing someone that they love is regret. And I never want my students to regret the fact that they had a dream, they had a goal, and they doubted themselves because of the voices on the outside. So I'm here today to let you know, and when I say you, this isn't a message just for parents, just for teachers, just for principals, just for students. This is a message for the world. Never doubt yourself. Whatever God has placed in you, he's placed it in you for a reason. He wouldn't have put the idea in your mind, and when you try to get away from it, I've watched you. I've seen enough people that when they try to get away from what God has placed in their mind, in their life, and they try to work that plan B, some way, somehow, that plan B falls apart. And then they find themselves wishing that they can go back to plan A, or sometimes going back to plan A. But then, as they work that plan A, another obstacle comes. And all of you all that's working your plan A, just understand, whether you choose plan A or plan B, the obstacle is going to come. That's life. There's nowhere around it. But if you have that plan A and you stay focused on that plan A, 9 times out of 10, when that obstacle comes, if you choose to stay the course, God will allow you to overcome that obstacle, regardless of what everybody else thinks. Don't let people come and put that in your seed, plant that seed that, oh, maybe you should be doing something different. If you're talented and gifted in a specific thing, and you know that, don't worry about what type of job will you have. Just keep going after that. Just keep working to unleash your talent and your gift. The money will follow. The money will follow because your gift and talent is put in you so that you can serve others. Service is what draws the money. If you don't believe me, if you look at all your multimillionaires, multi-billionaires, if you break down the amount of money that they're making, I guarantee you it's attached to, in some way, shape, or form, them serving the needs of others and the other people making money off of them. So their money has to funnel up because they're reaching millions and millions of people and serving other people's needs by giving them an opportunity to make money. This is why some of your multi-billionaires, they may not be great people character-wise, but because they have created systems that service the masses, they have no choice. God has no choice but to bless them because his laws say so. So I'm here to tell you that self-belief is the most important thing that you can have. I know I didn't say it because I'm so focused on my workout, but you know what the lesson is. Normally I say, school is in session, let's get to this lesson. But as with my workout, I went right into the lesson. So I'm wrapping up my warm-up, just kind of get my heart rate going before I start lifting. Get my muscles working because I'm doing upper body today. But I wanted to say to you all, be blessed this week. Have a phenomenal, phenomenal work week. And most importantly, have a spectacular school week. And I'll see you next week. Love you all.